there, Cleo of Topless Topics here. I just wanted to let you know that you are about to watch the patriarchy-approved version of this video, by which I mean the version of this video where I censor out any heinous female nipples so that we don't offend any delicate puritanical sensibilities or spread any dangerous propaganda like the radical notion that female-looking bodies should have the same anti-censorship rights as male-looking bodies. If you'd like to watch the real version of this video, by which I mean the one not covered in this shroud of female shame, then I'm afraid I can't link directly to it because YouTube will hit me with another strike saying I'm linking to porn. So you'll just have to follow me on social media and find the link there. Of course, YouTube also hit me with a strike once by saying that linking to a link that had an embedded tweet with female nipples in it was linking to porn. But hey, it's all in the name of protecting the patriarchy. But yeah, if you're just interested in hearing what I have to say, even without the incentive of non-sexual female nipples, then please keep watching and enjoy. Welcome everybody to Topless Topics, a channel that seeks to destigmatize female toplessness through repeat exposure. And an especially big welcome to those of you watching the real version of this video, meaning you actually went to the toplesstopics.org website and found the link there, as the entire point of my channel is to normalize non-sexual female nipples by seeing them on a female presenting person who's not engaged in the middle of an actual explicit sexual act. I am your host Cleo, and today I want to do a reaction video to a Kat Blaque video that I watched last night and found that I had so much I wanted to say that rather than try to pack it all into a really long YouTube comment, I thought that I would do a whole video. And I do want to begin this video with the caveat that I am not a person of color. I identify as white. I've always identified as white. I am a cis woman, and there was a little period there where I thought I was non-binary, but I do think I'm a cis woman. I'm not straight, but all that being said, I am trying to be aware of my privilege and my myopic worldview, and so if I say anything in this video that sounds like I'm discounting, you know, the Black experience, the trans experience, etc., I am not trying to do that at all. Please don't crucify me. I'm really trying to not be a dreaded, you know, white feminist ally here. I'm doing my best. So the name of the Kat Blaque video that this is a response to is called Why is LeftTube So White? And I'll put the link to the video in the description so you can go watch it yourself. Probably want to watch it before you watch this one because then it, you know, I'm responding to that video, but you know, you don't have to, I guess. And I saw this video as part of a spate? Is that the word? I don't know, whatever. As part of a bunch of videos from Kat Blaque that I was kind of powering through while playing a video game. That was a long grind, but you know, like I said, I just was watching this video and I kept pausing it and like writing a list of things that I wanted to say because I was just like, yeah, yay! As I often am on, you know, Kat Blaque videos, but, and leftist videos, in general. So yeah, I'm trying to recognize my privilege. That's the video I'm replying to. I'm gonna stop dissembling and get into it. Let's get into it. Isn't that what all the popular YouTubers say? So one of the things that Kat Blaque focuses on in her video is the lack of, is the lack of diverse leftist perspectives on the popular YouTube channels. Like you've got cis white males like Vosh, you have cis white females like Lindsay Ellis, you have trans white people like PhilosophyTube and ContraPoints, and so on and so forth. And as Kat Blaque says, you know, this isn't hating on those creators, like they, to different degrees, do great work in spreading the progressive ideals and, you know, getting people's ideas flowing and bringing up notions that maybe people didn't really think about before. So I agree with her, and, you know, I also want to stipulate that I'm not hating on those channels. I have a great amount of respect for, again, varying degrees of those channels. It's my dream to meet like ContraPoints and Philosophy Tube and Kat Blaque, and that might actually happen at this VidCon. I don't know about ContraPoints, but I know Philosophy Tube and Kat Blaque are both featured creators there, so it'd be really cool. I'd be really nervous though and probably afraid to talk, but anyway, yeah, like she points out, especially when you look at the channels that have like millions of views, they do tend to be white, and it's a reflection of our culture. As she points out in the video, a lot of times it's like mansplaining, but it's also white-splaining, where like she'll say something and then a white person will say the same thing and all of a sudden people pay attention to it. Or worse, she'll say something and then a white person will misrepresent her point, and then everyone listens to that, you know, misrepresentation of her content without actually watching or understanding her video or content or whatever it is. And the lack of diversity, especially regarding her channel, really comes into focus when you look at her follower counts and stuff like that. So I've been doing research on the VidCon featured creators, especially the ones listed on the meet and greet list. I'm trying to familiarize myself at least a little bit with all of their content because I'm old and busy and don't really watch a lot of YouTubers anymore. And I was surprised to find out that Kat Blaque has been doing, you know, leftist, well, she says she isn't, she doesn't identify as a Democrat, but I think she does have leftist views. I mean, sorry if I'm misrepresenting. This is what I have observed from the videos I've seen, and I could totally be wrong, so please let me know if I'm wrong. But anyway, you know, she's been doing this work for a really long time. She's been getting hired to do like speaking gigs at colleges and all this other stuff. But when you look at her YouTube, or you look at, I'm brain farting, you know, just other places where she has her content online, her numbers are way lower than a lot of white YouTubers who talk about the same kind of stuff. And when you look at the views for specific videos, it's pretty much always ones that are like about sex or sexuality, or like her review of 50 Shades of Grey and stuff, that get the most views. Her ones about specific subjects like trans identity and stuff like that just don't seem to get as many views. Now, I personally know how fucked up the YouTube algorithm is. You know, I don't get a lot of traction, and I've gone through 15 years of getting insanely nonsensical bans on YouTube and Vimeo and Dailymotion and Tumblr and Twitch and, you know, just every freaking website you've heard of, and some you haven't. So I know intimately how messed up YouTube algorithms are. I'm shutting. I know how messed up the algorithms are. I know how easily false flagging and stuff can be weaponized. I've had fully clothed videos banned as nudity. I've had videos that don't mention anything to do with vaccines or health or anything banned as medical disinformation, you know, stuff like that. I don't know how much she's had to deal with it. I would think that at this point she's famous enough to have the protection of at least a human moderator looking at the flags on her videos, but I don't know. I haven't been from her, you know, I haven't been on her side of the camera. But going back to the algorithm, you know, YouTube is a business. YouTube is always going to focus on what it thinks will get the most clicks. There, you know, there is a safeness, I think, in white people looking for other white people videos, especially a trans black woman. You kind of, I think you're only going to have either pretty far left people looking at content like that, maybe some hate watching by Nazis. I mean, I'm sure that exists too, but you're gonna be isolated, you're gonna be pigeonholed more, as she mentions in this video. And another thing that she said in the video that I thought was really powerful, and I feel really bad that she has to deal with this, is getting pigeonholed as a trans black woman. And, you know, it is her identity, it is how she identifies, but at the same time, always having all these articles and everything, always focus on that. Like, you look up Kat Blaque and you find trans black woman activist, trans black woman, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, every freaking article talks about her being a trans black woman. Whereas a white person, they never go white creator. If they're trans, they'll usually say trans creator. But if they're, and maybe even, you know, cis women, they'll be like woman creator or whatever. But it all harkens to the default view, the default assumption that, you know, like the default setting is a straight cis white man. I see this a lot in video games. I am a huge gamer. I love video games. I just started playing Horizon Forbidden West, which is so exciting to have a strong female character, and not strong like brutal, but just like very self-capable and everything like that. I noticed they kind of added romance options to this sequel, which is kind of like, do we need those? Anyway, in the video game world, there's a lot of straight white male protagonists, and every time a game even gives you the option to be a non-straight white cis male, let alone forces you to play as like a straight white cis well, we don't know if she's straight, but you know, assumed a straight white cis woman. The video game ecosphere is full of dude bros bitching about, you know, forced diversity, blah blah blah. Because even the word diversity, you know, there's this assumption that like anything that's not a straight white cis male, which is tedious to say every time, but you know, every time there's any kind of character or perspective or anything that isn't that, it's diverse, it's non-standard. And it infuriates me because it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Why in 2022 are we still just like defaulting to this completely reductive way of thinking, saying that, you know, anything that differs from that is non-standard? Think about it. It's so nonsensical. Ugh. Back to my list. I'm trying to make this video not as rambly as I usually am. Yeah, so one of the, you know, going back to the success of white leftist YouTubers versus her content, I have not achieved success as a leftist YouTuber or just a YouTuber in general, even though I've been doing this for 15 fucking years. But I know that it's not because of my whiteness, because I you know, there is nothing about me as far as that goes that's a detractor against me. Being a woman is a detractor. I mean, especially again in the gaming space, there's still a lot of attitude of like, oh, she's just using her body for views, where it's like, you think that if she had nothing else that was interesting about her, speaking about, you know, woman, whatever, like Pokimane, or I don't follow other Twitch streamers, but you know, if there's nothing else interesting about her but her body, she wouldn't be popular. So I mean, yeah. But anyway, blah 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 blah. Yes. So I have not found success, but my theories behind that are I don't really upload content very regularly. I am rocking the boat, considering that my focus is on topless equality, is on giving, you know, everybody, all genders, the same rights, either ban all nipples or no nipples, as the shirt that I don't know why I'm pointing back here, as the shirts I finally started vinyl printing to hopefully start selling say. My entire focus is on equality, is on sex worker advocacy, sex worker advocacy, there we go, without actually being pornographic, because again, me sitting here without a shirt does not make it pornographic just because I look female and have my nipples visible. Fucking YouTube. I have divisive content like that, and I have brand unfriendly content like that. So that's, you know, probably a big reason why I haven't achieved success. But yeah, like I said, my whiteness is not a detractor. My whiteness is not getting in the way of me possibly becoming big and famous someday. Which I've given up. It's not happening, but it's okay. You know, as long as I touch lives here and there and very slowly set the seed of maybe someday in far in the future, after we're all dead from climate change, giving all genders the same topless rights, you know, it's worth it. 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 Fuck capitalistic society saying you have to be rich and famous or even just make money at something for it to be worth your time. Fuck that. It's worth it. I'm not jealous at all. But yeah, another thing that I thought was kind of interesting is I only found out about Kat Blaque pretty recently, which I don't know if I'm ashamed is the right word, but it's just, it's confusing to me how she wasn't brought up sooner, especially considering that she does talk about feminism and such a lot. Like she says in the video, she was one of the first YouTubers to outright identify as a feminist, and, you know, to tell her viewers that she identifies as a feminist. So why have her videos not been recommended to me before? Why did I not find out about her until, this is how recent it was, her beef with Vosh? And the only reason I even found that is because I was researching Vosh. I was watching some of his videos, and the topic came up of him having this tweet battle with Kat Blaque. I don't know enough about the situation to really recap it. I did do a casual closed vlog where I kind of gave my thoughts on it when it was going on. If you want to, you can go watch that. But that was the first time where I heard about it. It really ties into her video, where the first time I heard about her was in relation to a cis-white male leftist YouTuber talking about her and, you know, in her perspective, misrepresenting her. Like she just fucking said. And the video I watched was actually, I think, older than that, than that situation. So like the cycle keeps repeating itself. And so again, you know, I'm glad I finally found out about her. And then I was really happy to see her listed as a featured creator for VidCon. She's not on the meet and greet list, which I guess means she just didn't want to deal with that. So I don't know if I will get the chance to talk to her. She's also pretty famous, so I don't really want to waste her time. But I'm glad that I found her eventually, but I'm mad at YouTube for not recommending her to me sooner, so that I could have been watching her all the time. Like I've been watching ContraPoints for so long, and I recently have been watching a lot of Philosophy Tube and didn't realize like the breadth of her content, because for some reason YouTube is very selective about which Philosophy Tube videos they recommended to me. Yeah, why YouTube? Why? Why have you not recommended more Kat Blaque videos to me? Why? I'm very disappointed. Speaking of the Vosh beef, one thing I did want to mention also in this video is that from what I remember, the thing about the beef, the situation, the scandal, or whatever you want to call it, is that, again, sorry for misrepresenting if I do, this is me trying to summarize from what I remember. Kat Blaque basically said that, you know, as a cis straight white male, Vosh is going to just inevitably lack the perspective of a non-straight cis white male. Again, sorry, not straight, but non-cis white male. You know, he doesn't know what it's like to live black. He doesn't know what it's like to live trans. And while you can be very sympathetic to someone who is, and you can, you know, sit down, shut up, and listen about it, you just aren't going to know what it feels like. And to relate it to my own situation, my followers, surprise, surprise, are predominantly male. And they're predominantly older cis white men. And that's not a hit against them. Like, I have a regular group of like 10 or 20 people that I talk to all the time during my live streams every Saturday, 3 to 7 at twitch.tv/SariGotGame. I talk to them during my live streams, I talk to them on Twitter and stuff like that, and I do genuinely consider them friends. And especially the ones that I talk to the most, they get it. But so many straight white cis men come into my menchies and try to co-opt my discussions about rape culture, about topless inequality, about, you know, stuff that I have personally experienced over and over and over, about the indoctrination of girls from childhood to be told that, you know, the majority of our worth is determined by whether or not we're you know, whether physical attractiveness is considered our main source of worth. I talk about stuff like this, and so many of them jump in and it's like, well, men get raped too, or, you know, well, I don't feel that way, and it's just the not all menning, just And I don't think that most of these guys who do that are doing it maliciously. I think they are just raised in a society where they're told that their experience is the default. Their experience is what everything else gets compared to, and that, you know, their experience is them as an individual is more important than what their race and gender and, you know, everything else does in a big dangerous way push onto other people. And it's frustrating when I try to have genuine conversations with these guys, and I'm not very good at it, but I'll try not to be as aggressive as I generally am, especially on Twitter, and I'll try to explain it to them in a gentle way, and they just don't get it. They don't get it. They can't separate their consideration of the topic from their life experiences as a straight white cis male. And I think it takes work, you know. I really went through a process, especially as the George Floyd protests started and, you know, Black Lives Matter and everything, of having to challenge my knee-jerk reaction when I hear like white people do this, white people do that, to realize that it's not like saying you individually do this, it's saying your race predominantly does this thing. And it's not helpful if you actually care about stopping this bad thing from happening. It's not helpful for you to center it on yourself and be like, well, I don't do that. Cool, great. Lots of other people in your demographic do. You need to speak up about it. You need to tell them directly. You also need to, you know, get out of the way if someone of the, I guess, persecuted demographic is talking about it. You know, don't, as getting back to the video, don't like co-opt what Kat Blaque is saying and be like, well, I think she means, you know, just put her video out there. You know, I guess you can say like, well, it seems like she's saying this, but leave room for, you know, you might be misunderstanding her, and also encourage people to go watch the video or whatever, read the article in question before they default to just accepting your view. Kind of a off-topic thing, but this makes me think of religions where, especially Christianity, where people won't actually read the text themselves. They'll just trust, well, this, you know, this pastor says that this means this, because there's a lot of, you know, people using their holy text to validate what they already feel, like being anti-gay or whatever. So one thing she said in her video that I really liked is she said, I'm paraphrasing, but basically, listen to the different sides and see what makes the most sense to me, meaning her. And I really like that. Unfortunately, like so many things, like wokeness and cancel culture and all this other stuff, the right has co-opted this whole both sides thing, you know, both sidesism with fucking Trump and Charlottesville and everything, where it's come... Again, I'm shedding. It's come to mean like giving equal weight to differing opinions, even like something like climate change, where you have like 97% of scientists are saying we're fucked, but then Fox News will find this one scientist that's like, actually climate change is a myth. And they'll, you know, actually Fox News won't even put them both on. They'll only put the climate change is a myth guy, but, you know, supposed centrist debaters or whatever will have both sides, but they'll treat it as if they're equal opinions. I don't agree with that. I don't know. You have to figure out the difference between facts and opinion, and people that spread lies like Joe Rogan and all that shit. Definitely shit. Whatever. That's a whole other thing. But back to Kat Blaque. I feel like she is saying more kind of what I have always tried to say, where I say, you know, when I have a video with my opinion or whatever, I'm not telling you this is the way to think. I'm telling you this is how I think and this is why. You should never just accept the view of someone when it comes to a nuanced thing. I do think you should, you know, defer to like actual virologists versus fucking Facebook posts when it comes to vaccines and stuff like that. But as far as discussing, I don't know, rape culture or whatever, you should not just accept, okay, this is the right way to say. Going back to her scam, I don't know what to call it, thing with Vosh, I do think that you should pay more attention to the opinions given by people who are directly affected by that thing. So again, you know, listen to women, listen to rape victims, listen to whatever, more than some dude just jumping in there and being like, well, men get raped too. Yeah, but other men. Almost always. Don't fucking derail. Anyway, yes. So, basically, I agree that, you know, you should hear both sides, but just understand that both sides are not going to be as experienced, as knowledgeable, as, you know, in the trenches on a subject. So, yeah, if the issue is talking about transness or blackness or, you know, something that she is directly involved in, has directly experienced, you should listen to her viewpoint and consider it as weighing more than a cis white man's opinion about it. It's just, I'm not saying that she can't be wrong, and I think she actually has a video. I haven't seen it yet. I have it in my watch later list, but she actually has a video that's like, you know, paraphrasing because I don't have the name of the video in front of me, but it's something like, just because an opinion is put forward by a minority doesn't mean it's automatically right one. I'll have to watch that video and get back to you, which is a whole other thing where it's like, you know, Ben Carson and shit like that. Like, you can find someone out of any demographic who is spreading the harmful whatever. But I do think that you should, yeah. Okay. 2 more things I wanted to point out. She points out, you know, kind of vaguely, but she points out in the video that the Nazis and stuff are getting a lot of traction. They're getting a lot of traction on YouTube. They're getting a lot of traction on Twitter, and just like anything that, especially anything that's driven by hate clicks, they're getting a lot of traction. There's a lot of lip service paid to, you know, oh, we're banning disinformation, blah, blah, blah. A lot of it fits through the cracks. And, you know, we keep getting these exposés talking about how Facebook, like, knowingly gives special treatment to Republican posts because they tend to get flagged more often, so they let them slide by with more and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's definitely not enough being done to counteract the white nationalism and stuff like that. You just have to be a little bit stealthy about it, but not even really. You don't really have to be that stealthy about it. You just have to, you know, not have female nipples visible or whatever, or have it in the title maybe. It's kind of funny because I had already written these notes out yesterday, and then today I posted a video where I was clarifying my opinion on male circumcision, which you should go watch. Basically, yeah, I was saying that mutilating, you know, infants' penises, I'm not saying that men who did get circumcised should be ashamed of themselves. Go watch that vlog if you want to know my full opinion. Anyway, so I put that video up, and YouTube was autoplaying it, and they put all these recommended videos on the right, and luckily a bunch of them were like Kat Blaque and Philosophy Tube or whatever, but the top one was an anti-vax one, and I reported it, because fuck anti-vaxxing shit. But even though it was like, thanks for your feedback, and took it out of the queue, I thought, when the video I was watching ended, it started playing the anti-vax video. And it's like, you're fucking recommending anti-vax videos to me, and yet you ban my videos that are fully censored from the chin down as intended for the... Ugh. So I agree with her, you know, these very harmful videos are not getting taken down. And especially when you have debates, where even if the person doing the debate, who starts the debate, is from the position of like, Nazis bad, you're still... I don't want to get too much into the should you give a platform to Nazis thing, because I think that there's a lot to be discussed in that. But I do think that, especially, you know, like on the Joe Rogan podcast and stuff like that, people with very harmful, literally like hate speech encouraging, you know, oh my god. Sorry, freaking... I love getting roped into mass text and then they're like talking about stupid shit. I'm just like, stop making my phone blink. Anyway, where was I? In a lot of these debates or whatever, people are going to hear what they want to hear. So even though, you know, if we as leftists listen to a debate where a leftist is debating a Nazi, and we feel like, you know, we hear the Nazi as being like just crazy and racist and everything like that, someone who's already inclined to believe that kind of stuff is going to hear a completely different thing. Looking back at like presidential debates or whatever, you have people, you know, who hate Trump being like, oh, he made himself look like a buffoon. You have people who are pro-Trump being like, oh, he made such great points. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. But yeah, she mentioned that, and I definitely wanted to voice my concurrence that YouTube and all these other places like to play lip service to deplatforming Nazis and anti-vaxxers and stuff, but they don't really seem to follow through as much as they claim. Meanwhile, their algorithms are super easy to weaponize, as I like to say, by haters who look at something like my content and just mass flag, and because I've had so many other videos banned, my appeals get auto rejected, or they just get stuck in submitted limbo and never go away. Yeah, fucking ban all nipples or no nipples. And the last thing that I wanted to bring up in this reply video is actually sort of a reply to another video she did where she was talking about that picture that went viral of this white woman wearing a shirt that said the founders of this nation were fed on black breast milk or something like that. I forget the exact quote or whatever. and she was going on about like how like nobody, you know, no black women want that shirt. Like she was just like, who is this shirt for or whatever. And as I said at the beginning of this video, I really struggle not to fall into the white feminist ally stereotype, where I guess, to try to summarize it very briefly, my understanding is that it's basically an activist who kind of uses like BLM or whatever as a springboard to kind of get internet points, or, you know, just get attention. I don't know. And I'm always trying not to do that. I am trying to use the clickbait of my nipples, not only to normalize the sight of non-sexual female nipples, but also to get people thinking about stuff that they're not looking for themselves. For instance, when the BLM protests first started happening, I did an interview with one of my longtime followers who is a black man about like his experiences and everything like that. And, you know, stuff that these guys looking for porn are not looking up. Or interviews with sex workers, and like I did that interview with Stormcloud, Stormcloud, I always want to say Stormwind, Stormcloud, who is a sex worker and also a disability activist and a homeless activist, and just kind of get people thinking about stuff that they're not looking for, especially, you know, with YouTube algorithms or whatever. If you look for one video about homelessness, maybe they'll get more, so they watch the video about me interviewing someone about homelessness, maybe they'll start getting other videos advocating for it or whatever. They might also get videos that are shitting against it. That's YouTube. Anyway, so I'm always trying not to do that. I'm always trying not to be a shitty ally. And, you know, and my personal experience with it is in topless equality versus nudism. Now, I am a nudist. I was raised a nudist, and by nudist I mean I've never been like, oh my god, nudity equals sex, nudity is profane, I can't be naked in front of my kids or my family because I'm ashamed, blah blah blah. I've never had that opinion because I was just raised to think a body is a body, and it's what you do with the body that makes it sexual or not. But that being said, the main focus of my content, there's a reason that I'm topless and not bottomless, is because I really am focused on topless equality as my main focus. Focus. I just want the same goddamn rights as male-looking people. When it's 95 degrees outside and we're gardening and my husband is, you know, mowing the lawn and he has his shirt off and nobody blinks an eye, I would also like to be able to have my shirt off without people blinking an eye, instead of being like taking pictures and alerting the police and being like, the children. You know, I would just, I'm not asking for special privilege. You know, it's like people who are anti-gay marriage, or they want special privilege. Like, no, we want the exact same rights that you already have. Why is this so confusing to people? Why is this, But anyway, so I kind of relate a little bit with that, in that, again, my followers are predominantly straight cis white men, and they're almost all, at least the people who, you know, seem to get it and aren't just retweeting me alongside porn, almost all of them are nudists. And a lot of times, like, they'll try to pressure me to talk more about nudism, to do full nude videos. And it's just like, dude, you're not supporting what I'm supporting. You're using me, you know, maybe unwittingly, but you're using me as a springboard for full body non-sexual, you know, nudity acceptance, so that you can have your I presume, dick waving in the air. And again, like, this is just human nature. We always are going to twist the narrative to what benefits us personally. And I don't think that it in itself is evil, but I think you have to recognize it and you have to fight against it. So my perhaps very ignorant opinion on being a good ally is, you know, advocate for the thing that, you know, you're advocating for, but don't make it about you. Don't try to do it to be like, you know, look at me, I'm a paragon, you know, I'm a straight white cis person who's a paragon of defending, you know, black trans people. Like, bring attention to the thing, bring attention to the people who are at the forefront of fighting for this thing. Don't talk over them. Don't misrepresent them. Don't, you know, encourage people to check out what it is you're responding to. So again, hopefully if you watched this far, you've already watched Kat Blaque's video. If you haven't, now is a good time to go check it out. She has lots of other good videos. I am still trying to make my way through her videos. I probably won't be able to watch all of them before VidCon, especially since I'm also trying to catch up on PhilosophyTube and How to ADHD and, you know, all these other channels that I only recently found out about. If you are a Kat Blaque fan and you think that she has some videos that I should especially watch first, please let me know. I will try to get to them. But yeah, I'm glad that I finally found out Kat Blaque exists. I am, I guess, enjoying her videos, but I also am find she supports a lot of things that I support, and you know, she does have some things that she brought up that I didn't really think about. I think, you know, I kind of tertiarily was aware of the like be tokenized, where like every article about her is her being Black and trans, but it really kind of, I felt her frustration at that happening in this video, and so I think that we should be aware of it and we should fight against it. And on the infinitesimally small chance that Kat Blaque herself sees this video, I hope that I did not misrepresent your opinion. I hope that I did not, you know, talk over you. I hope that I did not disparage you in any way. I am very, I can very easily admit that, you know, again, I've only experienced the world as a cis white person, and there are just going to be experiences that I have not had that it's important for me to shut up and listen to people who have had those experiences, and to, you know, to defer to their experience over my own. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you think about how to be a good ally? What do you think about, you know, the tokenization of taking a non-standard, by which we mean straight white cis male activist or whatever, and like reducing their what they're talking about to the fact that they're whatever they are? What do you think about it? Like, am I completely making no sense? I could possibly be making no sense. You know, every time I try to make a short video, I fail miserably. But, and again, you know, VidCon is like 3 weeks away. Well, 4 weeks away. I cannot fucking believe that it's right around the corner. You know, COVID rates are rising again, and this entire time it was canceled 2 years in a row, so I'm still like, maybe it'll get canceled again. I'm gonna try to get my second booster. I'm gonna tell them that I have heart arrhythmia and that I live with a, you know, immunocompromised person, my dad, and also a 3-year-old who who isn't able to get vaccinated at all. You know, I'm trying to take as many, I'm gonna wear a mask, I'm gonna try to take as many precautions as I can, but I'm so excited to go to VidCon. I hope that it doesn't suck. I hope that I don't feel like lonely and out of place and, you know, kind of lost. The last one I went to, I think, was 2016, or actually no, 15, because I was super pregnant when it happened in 2016. And even though they had just introduced the creator pass, I still felt like VidCon was very split between the super famous gods and screaming fangirls. And so there was nowhere for, you know, fangirls who were only interested in trying to meet the cute boy of the year. And there wasn't really a place for, you know, non-famous creators like me who actually want to meet other non-famous creators and collaborate and share ideas. And, you know, I like to hear other people's takes on the things that I talk about, hopefully in a respectful way, hopefully in a non-Nazi rapist way. But you know, I actually really enjoy doing interviews and doing like kind of co-hosted things, and I'm hoping that at VidCon I will meet other people who are interested in talking about this kind of stuff. I'm going to try to wear my ban on nipples or no nipples shirt and hope that I don't get kicked out of VidCon for having the word nipple on my shirt. We'll find out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm nervous about it. I hope that I get some good experiences out of it. I hope that I'm able to find some people to, you know, collaborate with and stuff like that. And even if it all sucks, my friend is going to come meet with me on the last day and we're going to go to Disneyland together. So even if VidCon sucks, I get that to look forward to. Maybe I can find some VIP parties to sneak in. No, that's not going to happen. I'm not famous and I don't know anyone who's famous, but a girl can dream. All right, I'm going to shut up now. Thanks for watching. If this is the first one of my videos that you've ever seen, you can go to toplestopics.org/featured, which is a list of my videos that I think are better, to kind of give you like a primer. I'm very active on Twitter and sort of on Instagram, even though it's owned by Zuckerberg. I basically never touch Facebook. We also have a Discord that you can join at toplestopics.org/chat. where we're all friendly, you know, we try not to be an echo chamber, but if you come in spouting racist shit or rapey shit or whatever, you will get booted. But yeah, I don't know. I like to talk to people. I like to engage with people in a respectful way and not in, you know, harmful propaganda spreading way. But yeah. Alright. Yeah. Let me know if you're going to VidCon or you know anyone who's going to VidCon. Hang out with us in the chat room. And check out my toplesstopics.org/featured page if you want to see some more videos of mine. Okay, bye! Make sure I don't have snot visible on my nose the entire video, as has happened before. Oh, the life of having a deviated septum is really fun!